Hello everyone. Welcome to my online channel, The Palm Leaf. This is the 16th video in the data analytics and visualization series. We are going to continue with the different forms and variants of the basic box plot that we saw in the previous two videos. In this video, we're going to look at two specific things. The first one is a plot where we are going to use two different types of dot plots or point plots overlapping each other so that we can get a different kind of a visual appeal. The second one is we're going to look at how null values can be removed from a data set within a single line of code, and you can run a ggplot to show the whole column against any other the correlation of that column with any other column, or distribution of that column with respect to any other column, removing those null values, right? It's a pretty straightforward argument, but very useful when it comes to missing values or null values, so on and so forth. So let's get quickly into action. Right, in line number 348, let me just run this line of code. What is happening is we're going to use the empty cars data set, and just a quick recap. It is 32 different types of cars. It's a data set that covers 32 different types of cars along with their 10 or 11 different types of numerical attributes, right? Like mileage, number of cylinders, so on and so forth, weight of the car, so on and so forth. Now you're going to use a ggplot function. It's all this is standard. All this is standard ggplot syntax. You're going to call the data set and introduce the aesthetics, where you will just say what your x and y coordinates are. X is equal to weight of the car, y is equal to mileage. You're going to introduce the shape argument, and the shape will be based on the size that you have of the cylinders, the number of cylinders that it's going to be a factor of the number of cylinders, right? So after you write this ggplot syntax, you're going to assign it to a variable g. And then because of its reusability, you're going to just say g plus, and you can play around with n number of different types of plots that you can have. So that's the flexibility that R provides. We have looked at this before. So in line 349, we see g plus gm point, and inside that you're calling the same factor of cylinders into the color variable, and you're going to assign a size is equal to 2, right? Let me just quickly run line number 349 so that you can quickly see it. Let me zoom it up for you. So what is happening here, right? On the x-axis, you have got weight of the car. Y-axis, you have got the mileage of the car. Standard thing that we have seen in the previous videos. The size of all the dots or all the points that you see on this grid is of size is equal to 2, which is what we have passed on the argument. The factor, the color and the color and the shape is based on the same column, and that column is the number of cylinders. You can see that both the red color and a circle is for those cars with 4 cylinders, and the green color and a triangle is both for those cars with 6 cylinders, and the blue color and the square is both assigned for cars with 8 cylinders, right? So I hope you get to see this very clearly on the chart. Now, what are we trying to do with this? This is all standard stuff that we have covered so far. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create, after we draw this, we are going to add another geom point, right? We are going to spice it up a bit. On a dot plot, we are going to have another dot plot, but this time we are going to reduce the size by a bit, and we are going to give it the ivory color, so it looks like slightly creamish or whitish. Let me just run this line of code so that you can clearly see. So what have we done here? We have created the scatter plot. We have created 2 scatter plots in a single grid. The bigger one is what you see, which has got the red, green, and blue colors, and the smaller one we've given it a standard ivory color so that it looks like hollow shapes, right? So it doesn't look like a solid sphere or solid triangles or solid squares. It looks like the spheres, triangles, and your spheres are hollow with the ivory dots sitting right in the middle of the previous plot. I hope you could appreciate the fact that you can use two GM points and control the size and the color to make it look as if they are like of a different shape, right? So you can play around with this. You can play around with the sizes, shapes, and let me know if you find any interesting combinations, right? So this is called layering of colors. You can use two GM points on top of each other. I mean, in R you can use pretty much any plots on top of each other. We also saw how box plot and violin plot were put together on a single grid, right? So, I mean, I'm happy to hear your opinion on how you can layer colors. We'll pretty much have a separate section on how to do different types of themes. How do you control the background? How do you control the labels? I mean, on all different types of cosmetics, we'll cover a separate section. That was pretty much it. Now, before we close, I also wanted to show you an interesting graph that you can build. It's a pretty straightforward graph. I'll just run the 2 lines of code, and then I'll talk about it. So the graph is pretty much simple, right? It's a simple dot plot that you see here, but what is hidden behind this simple dot plot is the fact that we're going to remove all null values or all missing values. How do we do it? For that, we need to understand line number 357, right? Before we understand line 357, let me just talk to you about its subcomponents. Now, what does runif 32 comma 0 comma 1 mean? Let's run it, right? You can see that there are 32 different values that coming up, and these values start from 0 and end with 1. So it is between 0 and 1. It will give you some random 32 entries, right? So if you really want to understand what is happening with runif, it's a standard thing. You can use a question mark and mention the name of the command, and you can see that runif generates random deviates, right? It's a uniform distribution which generates random deviates. So what's happening here? I'm going to use a if-else function, and I'm going to say if runif, and this is between 0 and 1, if this is less than 0.2, then you replace this with NA. And what NA means is null values or not applicable values, missing values, right? Else, you'll just retain whatever is there in the MPG column, which is this column, right? So if any of these values turn out to be less than 0.2, it will be replaced by NA. Else, it will be retained. I mean, the value will be retained, right? In MPG. And I'm going to assign it back to MPG, but I'm going to use a transform function, right? So the transform function, what it does is it takes a data set, it picks a column, and then you can play an argument. I mean, you can use an argument in it. In this case, we are using a simple if-else function. So if the value of a particular column is less than a particular value, you're going to replace it by null value. Else, you're going to reuse the same value, and you're going to assign it to the same column, and then this transformation is going to be saved in a vector variable called as m, right? So instead of running a plot on empty cars, now we are going to run it on m, which means all those variables which are insignificant or less than 0.2, I'm going to remove them, right? And I'm going to run that plot. How do you do this? You just write na.rm is equal to true, so which means all your NAs will be removed. So this can be used to remove certain aspects. So if you want to remove outliers, let's say, or if you want to remove certain certain values, you can actually use the transform function. Alternatively, you can also use the dplyr function that we have covered earlier. You can create a new column for mutate, and then use the if-else function, or maybe cut width function, or n number of different types of functions, and then create new values inside it, and then play around with those values using. You can store it into a variable and then play around with those values in your ggplot function. So I hope you understood how we could exclude certain values, how we could remove null values or not applicable values from a data set and still make that plot. Hope you found it interesting. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.